toe ring? Should I toe ring it? Dangerous. Absolutely not. I don't know if I'm gonna fill on the cob. I am deeply concerned about a bounce here, though. Yeah, I'm not getting any fills. Oh, fuck my back. No. Oh, ow. What an son of a bitch. Ow. Oh. Oh, fuck. Oh, oh my god. Ding ding. I made the money. I did it, guys. Oh. Oh, man. Cash settled, baby. Let's go. Ow. That hurt. That hurt really bad. I shouldn't have gotten so excited. All right. No, it's okay. It's gonna be fine. All right. So we tapped the JPM collar, got rejected off of it a little bit into the end of the day. Bulls built up some support at 6,500 going into tomorrow's inflation data. Obviously a key level for bulls to hold. If the inflation data proves out, they'll probably try to push over the collar, which will put a shitload of gamma under spot and be supportive of netting, probably all the way into OPEX. It would be probably a lot more fun if inflation is hotter tomorrow, especially super core. We got the upside test on get rid of that shit on ES here. It was about $3 over where I had the upside target. It looks like that's starting to fail a little bit and to close. Um, that is a new all-time high for ES on close today. Close at a new all-time high for SPX. Not a close at the all-time high for QQQ, however. So breadth's still picking up and supporting a lot of this. Obviously, not in RSP, but like in small caps and Dow. Yields at the top end of the curve moved down while the 2-year moved up, and the dollar fell a little bit. Oh shit, man. I should not have moved so quickly. Okay, it's okay. um, then we got a correlation. Didn't really do anything today, and actually, like short-term correlation was breaking down into close, but some like correlation fell a bit on the 3 month. But no moves in dispersion, which isn't surprising given that Nvidia earnings are now past. And as we start to move into the end of the buyback period for S&P and move closer to next quarter's earnings, we're probably going to see dispersion break down further. Because there's really no net benefit in pushing the dispersion trade at this point. Like it's kind of overcrowded. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that continue to rise, especially in the shorter term. Commodities up, decent moves in gold, silver, and copper. Looks like some other industrials. Not much in energy, but a little bit. 3-month correlation rising. Bond vol still completely fucking dead. Yeah, so we were talking about this yesterday, but the leverage in the carry trade at the top end is starting to pull back. Now remember, like, this leverage tends to be directly correlated with the amount of short vol on the chain of SPX. And what's more interesting is that we're seeing leverage pull back on the short end of that trade to levels we haven't seen since April, which could be slightly destabilizing, especially if the yield curve continues to push up. However, the forward yield on volatility is still staying, kind of around that -15 mark. So, not a ton of demand for long vol, but not a lot of leverage being pushed into shorting it down either. Skew fell yesterday, which doesn't surprise me. Things looked pretty bullish going into this morning anyway. And then we see, 20-day movers obviously climbing much faster. So lots of short-term momentum, but longer-term momentum still kind of complacent here, and we're not seeing that move in tech that would probably drag these prior overperformers back up. So we're actually seeing, a bit more breadth than we saw in the previous pump, but less concentration. As that concentration goes down, now that Nvidia earnings are passed, we might see some profit taking. VIX cash VIX correlation continued down, or VX cash VIX. However, not as much. So maybe starting to see a little bit of a turnaround there. And Fed fund futures actually pricing out rate cuts today, which is interesting, especially given the market moving up. So some hedging going on here for tomorrow's PCE report, most likely. I don't think there was really any data today. Maybe the stronger GDP that would have supported um, a change in expectations. But most likely just hedging tomorrow's data. And then 10 2-year back below 60, but after spiking slightly above it yesterday. Still quite a wide spread though, and steepening potentially over time. Out here, we have another break of that 2022 trend after failing it the first time. There is like a technical trend out here and a longer term. Oh, fuck did I do? Okay. There's the near term trend from the bottom, or well, near the bottom of April, where we finally caught that bounce. We haven't quite retested that. That'd be about 65.30-ish. I would say that's probably the next reasonable upside target for bulls here. So I'll put a line there, since we have really nothing else to go off of. And then yeah, I guess we'll see if this breakout continues or fails. Obviously, the consolidation into the breakout, not very bullish, but still breaking out and on fairly low volume, I would say, from the ES side of things. But somewhere in here, we would probably look for a failure, and then we would look to the 64.27 level for a continuation of that failure. Maybe tomorrow, into the end of the month. Don't forget, tomorrow we have the medium collar roll, and then we have we're gonna have PCE data, and then obviously any end of month window dressing, and with stocks at all-time highs, it's very likely that a lot of that window dressing could be profit taking. So be prepared for a potential pullback. Oh my gosh, you're so bearish. I'm not. It's just mechanical. Pensions are, pensions are massively overweight, and they have to rebalance. I don't know what the effect on the S&P from that's going to be. But it's -29 billion ish. little more today, maybe like 31 billion in equities that have to be sold. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be S&P equities. But generally, like going into the collar roll is a little bearish. Usually get everybody rebalancing on the sell side in the early part of the day, and then the collar gets rolled, and then everybody buys back in, levers back up. After their margin requirements are balanced out, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a lovely day. Pigeon Whales, you're welcome.